Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Art with Miss Myra, and it is Wednesday, March 18th, and I am so happy that you all joined me this morning and stuff to do a quick art lesson, and I'm really excited about the art lesson that we're going to be doing today because there is a couple different steps that we're going to be doing before we actually get into the actual project, okay? So we are actually going to make the yarn, so to speak, and stuff that we're going to be using for this, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So I hope that y'all remembered and stuff yesterday on yesterday's video and stuff. I told you that you needed a t-shirt for today's project, and I hope y'all remembered that. So, but this, I wanted to show you first. This is what we're going to be making. This is with our t-shirts. We're going to be cutting our t-shirts into strips and be making it's kind of like yarn, and we're going to be using it kind of like yarn today and stuff. So, but we'll start with our t-shirts first, and I already prepped a couple of t-shirts. And so when you have your t-shirt, you know, you have your t-shirt that has the top, a top to it and a bottom to it. This is one that's already been cut off, okay? And so you're going to want to lay your t-shirt flat as you can, and then you're going to want to take the top part that has your sleeves, you're going to want to take that off, okay? You're going to want to cut that off, and then there's always a band on the bottom, and you're going to want to cut that off too, okay? And so then when you get that done, you have something that looks like this, just a flat piece of material that you're going to lay out, and then we're going to lay that out as flat as we can on our table, and I hope that you all have a pair of scissors. And this is, yes, I know that's your t-shirt, thank you. we want to have a good pair of scissors here and stuff. We don't want to have a pair of paper scissors. We want to have a pair of scissors that maybe mom has reserved and stuff just for fabric. You're going to ask your moms or your grandmas if you can use that scissor today, and be very careful with it because those fabric scissors are very sharp. Here in my house, I have several fabric scissors, and everyone in my house knows that they can't touch my fabric scissors or I get very upset. So, but anyway, we're going to want to start cutting our strips. And so you're going to want to take, like I said, your t-shirt is already laid flat out, and I want you to have cut off the bottom band and the sleeves, where the sleeves are, okay? And so I want, after that, we're going to start cutting our strips. And for a rule of measurement, okay, because maybe you're home and you don't have a ruler or a tape measure, I want you to cut a strip that is as wide as your thumb, okay? So that's how we're going to measure this out, and it doesn't have to be exact and it doesn't have to be perfect, but we're just going to want to start cutting our strips. And you want to, you know, start on the side of the t-shirt, okay? So you're going to, you know, this is the side, you know, this is where the top was, this is where the bottom was. I laid this flat, and we're going to want to cut side to side. That's how we're going to cut these, okay? So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to cut this really quick. Okay. And then, now if you were at home and you were doing this project, you wouldn't be putting this away. You would be going ahead and cutting all of that. I want you to cut all those strips, but you're going to end up with a strip that is about like this, okay? And so then what we're going to do from there is, when we get our strips, we are going to, because now we have a band, you see this is what you end up with and stuff, is a little band, and you're going to want to cut that on one end, just so we have now a strip, okay? And now, and I should have mentioned this before we started and stuff, we want to use a t-shirt that is mostly cotton. We don't want to use something that has spandex in it, because spandex T-shirts that have spandex in them are a little bit harder to work with. You can still do it, but I just, for the ease of this project, I want you guys to be using something that has mostly cotton. It doesn't have to be 100% cotton, but it should be mostly cotton, okay? Because for the next part of this, we're going to make this, because remember, this is what the yarn type stuff looks like, or it's more tight like yarn. So we have this now, and so now all we're going to do is we're just going to stretch. And we're going to stretch this out. We don't want to pull it hard. We don't want to pull it hard enough that we're going to break it. But we're just stretching all those fibers out. And we're making it into, it's kind of like yarn. Okay? So that's what we want. Now, if I was doing this project and stuff, this is what I would do. I would cut all my strips first. And then I would go ahead and stretch all of my strips. And then I would just go ahead and I'd roll that into a big ball and just have that right beside me and stuff while I was working, okay? We want to make this easy for you guys. So, all right. So the next, and I'm going to use 3 different colors of strips to show you guys the next step, because I want you guys to be able to see this easily, okay? So to join our strips and make one long strip that we need to do this project, we're going to want to, you know, this is all, it's like our yarn, okay, so that's what it looks like right now. We're going to want to just open that up just a little bit on the end, maybe about 1 inch or so, okay, so it looks like this. And then we're going to want to fold that end over. And then very carefully with our scissor, we want to take our scissor and just make a little cut. So we want to make a cut that's about like that, okay? And so that's the next step. I want you guys to do that on all of your strips. And you know, actually, if you wound this into a ball, don't worry about it. You can do this as you're working, okay? So you would just take your first strip and do it to your first strip, and then as you take those strips off, now that's a little bit wide. I might have problems with that later, and so I'm actually probably more than likely to have problems with that. I'm just going to cut that off, put that to the side. We're not going to worry about it. Go ahead and fold it over again, you know, just a little bit, and then I want to keep that notch that I'm making. I want to keep it pretty small. I want to keep it about like that, okay? And I don't want it too close to the end, like that first piece that I just put to the side. That was way too close to the end, so when I pulled that, it would probably come apart, and I don't want to do that. So, okay, and see, I already cut this one. So before we started, that one's cut. All right. So I hope everybody is getting to go outside today. It's a little, not as sunny as it was yesterday here in North Dakota, but it is still pretty nice outside. And so I hope y'all get to go out after you have a little bit of lunch, do your art lesson today and have a little bit of lunch. I hope everybody gets to go outside and just get out and enjoy the nice warm weather. So. All right, so I've got all of my notches cut in all 3 of my strips that I'm going to put together and show you how to do today, okay? So the next step is this. I'm going to take the blue strip and we'll take the black strip, okay? And I just want to put this together and get the notches put together, okay? I don't know quite how to show this. So my notches are now together, okay? And so now, because my black strip is on the top, okay, I'm going to take my blue strip from the bottom, and then I'm going to, see now how this is the put together, this is where I'm holding them together, this is my other one, and I'm going to want to just thread that through just like this, and then I have joined those two strips. Okay, did you guys see how that worked? So I'll do it again here and stuff. I'm going to go to the bottom. Oopsie. I'm going to go to the bottom here. That was my thread that just rolled off the table. So I'm going to put my strips together. Okay. And then whatever's on the bottom, we're going to take that one, and that's the one that's going to go through. And it's like making little knots to join our strips together, but we don't want to knot them, because if we knot them, that's going to be a little bit tougher to deal with. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions on how to do that, but that's how that's done. Okay, so we're just going through now, and I'm making sure that all of our stuff is together. And now we have a really long strip. It's a really long, continuous piece of you know, t-shirt yarn that we're working with. Okay, and so we're going to, with this project, after you get this all done, after you get your t-shirt yarn all made, and then you have one continuous length, all right, we're going to get into making our actual project. And what our project is going to be today is we're going to do a finger crochet, and we're going to make a one long strip of finger crochet, and then we are going to make a little mug rug for all of our mugs. You know, our moms and dads probably drink coffee. Maybe you drink hot cocoa. We want some little mug rugs and stuff around, some little coasters and stuff around to put our hot glasses of our hot cups, our hot mugs on. And these can be made really easily, and they can be given as gifts, or you can make a couple of them for yourself, and I hope that you guys do that. So okay, so here's how we do finger crochet, and that's what we need to do to make our little mug rug. So I'm going to take one end, and just happens to be the blue end, and then I'm going to, here's my end, and I'm going to want to fold that over about probably 8 inches or so. Okay, and then we're going to, and I wish I could do this in slow motion, but it's actually pretty easy. Okay, I'm going to take my two fingers, I'm going to take my index finger and my middle finger on my other hand, and I'm going to wrap that little loop. You know, this is now a little loop. Okay, I'm going to wrap this around, and then I'm going to just make a little knot. And then when I make, excuse me, when I make that little knot, I want to tighten that up on the end. And if you need help doing this, I want you to ask an adult who's around and stuff to help you do this, okay? But we want to make this little knot. See how I made the little knot? And I want to leave enough room in here and stuff for my index finger and my thumb. And I just happen to be right-handed and stuff, but if you're left-handed, you can still do this, okay? So, and then I'm going to just grab down here and see this little tail that we have down here. I'm going to grab him with my pinky, and I'm just going to kind of hold him out of the way, okay? And so this is how we start our finger crochet, all right? Now I have the duck bill, okay? This is my duck bill. That's through my little loop here. And my duck bill is hungry, and he's going to go over here and he's going to grab this other yarn. This would be, if we were actually doing crochet, this would be my working yarn, okay? This is what I want to bring this through. And I'm just going to kind of tension this out here, and I'm going to hold it out so it's not flopping around. We don't want it to flop around, okay? So I'm just going to kind of, with my thumb, I'm going to hold this out like this, and then my duck bill is going to come on in here, and he's going to grab this piece, and then we're going to make a new little loop. And this first one is always a little bit wonky, and that's okay. So it's going to be a little bit loose. We're just going to tighten it up until we kind of know, okay, this is about what size it's going to be. So just work with it a little bit, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do it again, okay? Our little duck bill is going to go in here. It's going to grab the working yarn, going to grab that piece of food, going to grab that bread or whatever and stuff, and he's going to pull it through. So I'm going to try to do this pretty slow so you guys can get an idea. And we want this loop that we're pulling through, okay, we want this to be small enough that it's just fitting our thumb and our index finger, okay? We don't want it to be big. We don't want our loops to be really big and sloppy, okay? But it's going to take a little bit of practicing. So I want you guys to do this a couple different times. So like I said again, we have our index finger and our thumb. We're going to come down here. We're going to grab the working yarn. We're going to pull it through, make another new loop, okay? And there we go. So it's like this. Reach down, pull it through, tighten it up, come down, tighten it up, and just keep working that. And we're making, what we're doing here is, in crochet, this is called a chain stitch, okay? And it's just, see our lovely little chain stitch that we're making and stuff. It's not like it's a braid, but it's more of a chain, okay? And so we're gonna just keep doing that, and we're gonna work down this whole length of our yarn, our t-shirt yarn that we have already made, okay? So I'm going to try to do this pretty quick, and you guys probably won't be able to go that quick when you do this, but that's okay. I'm just going to try to do this up really quick so we can get to the next part and show you guys the next part. So again, I wanted to mention to you guys that I really appreciate all of the comments and the messages that I received last night about our class yesterday, and I hope that you all enjoyed making those paper beads. And it's just great to hear that this is being really well received and that you guys are liking the classes, and so I'm just so happy that you all are enjoying it. Okay, and you'll realize and stuff once you start this, once you get that routine down, that of how to do this and stuff, it goes pretty quick. All right, so we're almost done at the end of our 3 strips that we put together into one big strip. And now you can see I'm at the end, okay? So you might be wondering, how do we finish this out? And it's really simple, you guys. So when we made our little chain, what we did to make our little chain is we basically did a whole bunch of little kind of half knots, okay? So at the end, what we're going to want to do to finish this out is we are just going to we're just going to knot this off, all right? So you have, you know, this little tail at the end. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pull it through. Our little duck bill is going to pull it through, and then we're just going to cinch it like this. And see, that has now tied this off at the end, and we're good. And so now we can just go ahead and we can trim off the excess. So now I'm going to go ahead and stretch mine just a little bit, and you can do that too. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this together, and I wanted to mention this to you too. If we had a little bill or a little tail at the start here, we can go ahead and trim that excess off, And actually what I would do, I would trim it off to about there, but I would go ahead and I'd just kind of weave that in just a little bit to make sure that it's gonna stay. All right, and so at that end, we're going to start and we're just going to roll this. And we're just going to make it flat. And I hope you guys can see this. I'll hold it up when I'm all done so you can see what I've done. I'm just going to roll this all together. Okay, so this is what I have come up with, and this is our little mug rug. Okay, so now what we're going to do, and I hope that everybody has a needle and thread at home. All right, and if you don't worry about it and stuff. You can make lots of these up, and you can you know, just at some other point maybe get a needle and thread, but don't worry about that if you don't have one right now. But what we're going to do to sew this together is we're just going to hand sew this together. And so I've you know, threaded my needle, and then we're going to start at the beginning, and we're just going to go in and pick up a little bit of the material and start stitching this together. Okay, and this is actually pretty easy. And then as I'm going to you know, pick up more pieces, and then I'm going to roll it as I'm putting it together. Okay, sometimes it takes a little bit to work the needle in this t-shirt yarn, but it'll work. Okay, so when you get that all together, and you're just going to hand stitch this together, guys. And of course my needle got stuck. Okay, so you get the idea. You're going to hand stitch this together, and then when you get to the end, you're going to trim any you know, threads off. Okay, and you will have your little mug rug. So that is how that is how today's project is done. So I hope that you all enjoyed that. If you have any questions, let me know. Have someone message me, or you can message me on Facebook and ask me any questions about the project that we did today. And for tomorrow's project, what I would like you to do is I want you to take a cardboard box and cut out a piece of cardboard that is the size of you know, just a legal size paper. Okay, so you're going to want to have someone help you. Have your mom's, your dad's, your grandma's, grandpa's, somebody. I want somebody to help you do this, because when we're cutting cardboard, it's kind of hard to cut. And we want this to be just the size of a legal size piece of paper. And then today, this is your homework. I'm going to give you guys some homework for today, okay? So for your homework tonight, I want you to have somebody help you do the legal size piece of cardboard. And then I want you to make more strips of our t-shirt yarn, okay? And tomorrow we're going to do a weaving project. And it is going to be using the t-shirt yarn and this piece of cardboard. So tomorrow I'm going to show you guys how to weave, and that is something that you can learn how to do, and you can do a lot of different things with that. So thank you all for joining me again today. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time for the next Art with Miss Myra. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.